Good day, great times. Today we are back together with Mera Mashaba. Today we are going to talk about the fitting and matching. Under this topic, we are going to look at the forces, the type of forces, the impact of forces, and also the component of the forces. What is a force? A force is a push or a pull that can change the motion, the shape, and the size of an object. In fitting and matching, force, it is used to shape, cut, or remove the material. We have to know the type of forces where we have the tensile force. What is a tensile force? A tensile force, it is a pull or stretches material. Example, pulling a bolt. Then we have the compressive force. A compressive force, it presses or squeezes material. Example, using a vice. So we are going to look at the effect of the forces. It changes the motion, it changes the direction, and it changes the shape. So we have to know the SI unit of the force. We have to know the SI unit. The SI unit of the force, it is in Newton. Which means when you calculate the forces, you don't have to forget the N. Then we have the forces in the workshop tools where we have the hammer. This one, it applies the impact force. Then we have to know what is a component of the force. When a force acts at an angle, it can be split into two parts. One can act horizontal and the other one can act vertical. These parts are called the horizontal and vertical components of the force. Why do we have to know the importance of the force? In fitting and matching, tools sometimes apply force at an angle. Understanding force, it helps in predicting the material will move, calculating the exact amount of force needed. What is a moment? A moment, it is a tiny effect of a force around a point or a pivot. It explains how force causes things to rotate, like when you use a spanner to tie a thing. We have to know the formula to calculate the moment. A moment equals to the force. You have to put N because Newton, multiplied by the distance. And the distance is from the pivot to the point where force it is applied. Example of calculation of the moment. A planer is used to apply a force of 50 Newton. We have been given the 50 Newton at a distance of 0.3 millimeter from a bolt. Remember, we say the distance is from the pivot to the point where the force is applied. So, moment equal to our 50 Newton multiplied by our 0.3, which is equal to 50 N. So we are going to look at the square bar calculations. At the square bar calculation, we have to know the area, the volume, the weight. The area is the size of the square bar. Area equals to A multiplied by A equals to A squared. Don't forget to put the millimeters squared. Then volume, it is equals to the length multiplied by our A squared multiplied by our area. Then the weight equals to weight. It is equals to the volume multiplied by our 0,00785. Then we have to look at the example of the square byte. A square bar has a side of 20 millimeter and a length of 1000 millimeter. Firstly, we have to calculate the area. The formula to calculate the area is A multiplied by A, which means our area equals to 20 multiplied by 20, which is going to give us 400 millimeter. Then we have to, after calculating the area, you have to calculate the volume, which means our volume is going to be 400 that together the area multiplied by our 1000 millimeter, which is going to give us 400,000 millimeter cube. Then goes to the times the weight. Don't forget, when you want to calculate the weight, it is volume multiplied by 0,0785. Then you have to say your volume equals to the length multiplied by 0,0078, which means your weight is going to be 400,000 that you get on a volume multiplied by 0,00785, which is going to give you 3,14 kg. So you don't have to forget, you have to